the tunnel in the Olympic Stadium in Athens, so it's time now to hand over to the commentary team of Derek Ferguson, Cammy Bale and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Al. Massive night ahead for Rangers as they enter the red-hot Olympic Stadium in Athens. Red-hot in temperature, potentially over 30 degrees pitch sides, and certainly red-hot in atmosphere, although the 75,000 capacity not full, not nearly full, but those of a Panathinaikos persuasion in there certainly making a racket as the teams walk onto the pitch and they unfurl the green and white display, which should be enough to get the Rangers players up for it in any case, but the incentive is there. A 2-0 lead. They worked so hard for it, Ibrox. Had to ride their luck along the way, but took advantage of some profligacy from their visitors last week. Can they finish the job? And the big question, perhaps, with Russell Martin so fresh in the dugout at Rangers, is how is his side going to approach this? Martin, of course, no experience of European football as a player or manager, and it's whether they try and play a bit more safe, a bit tighter in Athens this evening, or whether they go for the throats of Panathinaikos, who no doubt, as Derek Ferguson mentioned, were irked and frustrated coming away with a 2-0 defeat. They felt they had more than enough of the game, certainly in the first half, to be ahead in the tie, coming back to their home. But it is they who trail by 2 goals, and now they have to try and reverse that if they want to reach the Champions League for the first time in more than 15 years. Rangers with the same side that what started the first leg: Butland in goal, Tavernier, Giga, Suter and Aarons the back four, Rodwell, Raskan and Diamonde in midfield, Dowell on the right, Curtis on the left and Danilo up front. Just the one change for Panathinaikos, enforced of course. Vayanidis suspended at right back, so Yanis Kotsiras comes in on that side of the defence. So they go with Bartolome, Dragovski in goal, Kotsiras, Palmer Brown, Tuba and Kyriakopoulos across the back four, Chirivea, Bakasetas, the Greece captain, and Nemanja Maksimovic in midfield, and in Facundo Pelistri, the Uruguay international and former Manchester United man on the right wing, Filip Juricic, the Serbia international on the left, and Fotis Ioannidis, the captain, leading the line and his sides this evening. It is 2 well-matched sides with a place in the third qualifying round of the Champions League at stake. The winner will face either Victoria Pilsen of the Czech Republic or Servette in the next round. Servette with a 1-goal advantage from the away leg. They're at home tonight. Their kick-off 8 o'clock. The loser drops in to face either Shakhtar Donetsk or Besiktas in the Europa League, with Shakhtar 4-2 up in that tie after the first game. So we're just about ready for kick-off in Athens. The referee, Simone Sozza of Italy, is just checking that we're good to go. He puts the whistle to the lips, starts the stopwatch, and the second leg of this Champions League second qualifying round tie is underway in Athens. Rangers holding a 2-goal advantage, but with much work still to do. And it is the home side who immediately on the front foot and a ball into the Rangers box, but it's between the 2 players in the green and white jerseys, and Jack Butland is able to come out, and now it's with Mohamed Diamonde pulling out wide, as we saw in that first leg, with the full-backs often coming into midfield and the Rangers outside central midfielders pulling wide, and Diamonde almost as a winger there. It's now over with Aarons at left back, and he's gone direct looking for young Finlay Curtis, who's really announced himself with his first goal last week at Ibrox. A cracker it was too, and Rangers have won possession high up the pitch, and here comes the attack now. It's blocked, with the strike is blocked, and now it's Diamonde, and his pass towards Dowell is intercepted, and Panathinaikos scrambling slightly. Palmer Brown comes away with the ball and gives it to the left back, Kyriakopoulos, and that will be Just a little concern for Panathinaikos. They want a fast start here, but they certainly don't want to give up anything cheap. Rangers doing well, Cammy, to win the ball high up.
Yeah, they did, and it was a direct ball from Aarons, long up to Finlay Curtis, but what was key was Raskin getting up around it, picking up second balls, and then just being able to create that attack from there. So really positive start from Rangers. You can see as well, Jack Butland delivering the ball fast, so they want to start this game fast.
And now here comes Diamonde driving down the right-hand side. Like a winger, hugging the touchline, plays it infield. Rothwell chips it up to the corner of the box, headed away by Panathinaikos, drops in, though Tavernier prods it back to Suter. And slide forward, looking for Danilo, but it's intercepted by Palmer Brown, and now they can stride forward. Panathinaikos strike from the edge of the box, but it's miles over the top and wide from the centre-back. Just didn't know what he was doing there, caught in two minds and blazes it behind.
Yeah, thankfully. And Rangers started pretty well, you know, and already going a little bit longer, but it's that straight ball into the middle of the park. You know, it cost them a couple of times in the first leg, so it's just something they've got to be kind of aware of. You know, just they've done it a number of times, and again, you know, they know that it's going to happen, and they're on it in a flash. So we got away with it there, but a decent start to the game for Rangers.
Yeah, you mentioned it before the game, Derek. Again, that straight ball, and if it's going into Danilo, he has to protect it, has to get it, because again, the Panathinaikos player just ran up the whole pitch and got a shot away.
It's a pet hate of mine, that type of ball. I like balls where a player come off at the angle, so you're getting on the half turn. You know, you don't know what's round about you, and you know, Panathinaikos, they robbed them right away and broke forward.
Here comes Pellistri though down the right hand side, and he's won Panathinaikos a corner. Good direct play from the winger off the defender and spins behind, and the Greeks have a corner kick here. 3 minutes gone, goalless in Athens. 2-0 to Rangers on aggregate it remains. Jack Butland just marshalling his defence. What a performance from him last week, albeit a couple of the chances shouldn't have even come into the equation, but the finishing wasn't the best at corner. Swung into the Rangers box, it's over everyone really, and then there's a flick away from Dowell. He was a bit unsighted, didn't know whether anyone was behind him, so he felt he had to make contact with the head, and it goes behind.
Yeah, he was unsure. A little bit of communication could have been better there. You know, he could have just let it go over his head and run out for play, but Panathinaikos are going to keep the pressure on.
And this is what the home side would have been after, trying to keep Rangers hemmed in the sweltering heat of Athens. Corner going to come from this near side. It's Bakasetas, and again it's rather overhit. Unless it's worked as the player pulls up to the back, but doesn't make anything of it, and the Rangers player goes down. It's Curtis, and then the corner and the cross comes in, and it's a dive from the Panathinaikos striker Ioannidis, but it's come off a Rangers player, I think, and signalled for the corner. So Panathinaikos just cranking up the pressure early on here.
Yeah, again, it's a really good ball in from that left-hand side, nice and flat, difficult to defend. John Suter's just close enough to the striker, and it comes off Tavernier and gives Panathinaikos another corner.
Yeah, Tavernier was unsighted, and it came off him. Corner fired in near post, headed away by Rangers. Panathinaikos come again. Kyriakopoulos, the left back, slides it down the left-hand side of the box, low cross, and it's up towards the penalty spot. It's sat up, and then the strike from the edge of the box, just round the post of Butland. He got across, it was Bakasetas. It was low, the goalkeeper might have had it covered, but it's just a little warning shot. 5 played, goalless.
Yeah, and they're plenty of balls into the box, and just Rangers got to be a little bit better, you know, getting on to the second ball. You know, just laughed that one past that left-hand post, but you know, it's what we probably expected. So at the moment, I wouldn't say Rangers riding a lot, but they've got to keep their discipline, you know, keep their focus, you know, and try and get onto those little second balls. So
throw in from the near side from Panathinaikos. Rangers managed to clear. There's no one up top for them at the moment though, and the goalkeeper Dragowski comes a long way, the pole, and then he sends it a long way with the right boot, but there's no one there running beyond the Rangers defence, and it has gone for a Rangers throw-in almost down near their corner flag. Max Aarons playing at left back again this evening, and he played well last week, Max Aarons, but you get the sense it's certainly not the position he'd like to be playing in long term across the course of the season. As it's up the line, Panathinaikos get a foot in it. Ioannidis Little back heel return, and the striker goes after it. Great pace, and he gets the strike away at the near post, and Butland had to make the save. Well, if there was, he was probably looking for a run from someone in the box. A cut back, took it on himself, and Butland made himself big and saves at the near post.
Yeah, again, it was clever play from Panathinaikos down that right-hand side. They managed to get the striker onto it, and Jack Butland, for me, made a great decision because he was going to come, retreated back onto his line, made himself big, and it was a decent save from him.
And the angle was against Ioannidis, but he didn't really have any options to stick the ball back to, but he showed great pace to get to that ball. I thought it was perhaps running out. There's Ahmed Touba on the halfway line for Panathinaikos, gets it back, now plays it down the left touchline. It's over Kyriakopoulos though, and runs out for a Rangers throw down near their corner flag. So Rangers just having to weather a wee bit of a storm here, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, they certainly are, but we kind of expected it. I don't think he was ever going to score there, but Butland certainly making himself big. It was a good save, but you know, just got taken. There's sometimes just little duels. We're just watching it now. You know, they're losing out, and they've got to be better in those duels, those 1v1s.
And there's a free kick handily given to Rangers, about 7-8 yards outside their own box. Bakasetas is appealing, but the referee unmoved here. It's on Raskan.
Yeah, it's a foul on Raskan. This is where, for me, it's important Rangers just control the game. They're under a little bit of pressure here, so just take your time, feel your way into the game. There's no rush for Rangers at this moment in time.
And they go long for Danilo to chase, but it bounces once and into the arms of Drokowski, the goalkeeper. And well, we mentioned pre-match, Derek, about perhaps Rangers looking to go long, but the long ball needs to be better, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it surprises a little bit because we know Russell Martin, his ethos, you know, he wants the ball from the back. I was actually quite surprised. I was going to come to Cammy because right at the start of the game, Butland gathers the ball and he was awfully quick, you know, to distribute it. You know, I thought, take your time, just bed yourself into the game. But looks as if Rangers wanted to make a fast start, but at the moment, just those little duels I was talking about, just coming out second best at the moment.
Here's Palmer Brown, controls it with the right foot. Panathinaikos don't start their domestic season until the 23rd of August. Their first game as well last week. Both teams straight into the thick of Champions League qualifying action under huge pressure. And what it would mean to either side to get through. Arguably the easier tie is in the Champions League rather than trying to take on potentially Shakhtar Donetsk in the Europa League as well. And of course, getting through this round would mean Rangers guaranteed Europa League football at the very least. Whereas if you go out here, you are dropping into those Europa League qualifiers as Rangers just hold it at the back through Suter. Under little pressure at the moment, the Scotland international, and he goes long with the right boot, but again it's a straight aimless ball and it just goes straight through to Dragowski, the goalkeeper. Panathinaikos will eat that up all day. Ball just coming straight back to them at the moment as Chirivella, the Spaniard in midfield, spreads it wide to right back. Kotsiras, one of the only change I should say for Panathinaikos this evening from the first leg, and Curtis is penalised. I think there's 2 balls on at the moment, but he was claiming that it was his throw, but it goes to Panathinaikos. Palmer Brown square for Touba, along the grass to the left back Kyriakopoulos, and then the ball in field from Panathinaikos takes a deflection and goes all the way out for a corner. 10 minutes played, Panathinaikos 0, Rangers 0, 2-0, Rangers still lead on aggregate.
Yeah, just one or two things, you know, watching Aaron's there just moments ago, it's a throw in for Rangers. He's racing across and he picks it up and takes it a bit too quick for my liking. You know, just settle down, you know, bed yourself into the game, try and frustrate them a little bit. Now won another corner kick, set piece, which is dangerous.
Here it comes, left boot of Bakasetas, header into the towards the 6-yard box, which blocked and cleared. Palmer Brown heads it back into the box, and then it's kind of sclaffed half clear by Suter, but the pressure very much still on, but that's bobbling about in midfield and neither can get hold of it, and Panathinaikos eventually do, and they go backwards now to Chirivella and out to the right hand side. Long ball into the edge of the Rangers box. Giga with a header straight up into the air though, and then Suter lets it bounce and it's causing havoc. Suter recovers. There's an appeal for handball against Suter now. The fans and the Panathinaikos players, meanwhile, we go on, but the ball down the right hand side of the Rangers box is overhit, and that will be a goal kick. But we do have VAR in operation here, and that will be checked worryingly for Rangers, as we just get a little look at the replay here. Does hit his arm, but I'm not sure he knows much about it. Cammy Bell.
Yeah, no, again, for me, I think he's jumped early. I think John Suter shouldn't have let that bounce anyways. I think he should have attacked it and headed it clear, but he's allowed it to bounce. He's allowed the striker to back in and make it uncomfortable for him, but not a penalty for me.
I think Giza has got to deal with the first ball that comes in. It's underneath him. His attempt at clearing it was extremely poor. And the last couple of corner kicks, they've won them. They've won the first header. So Rangers have got to be a little bit better in that aspect.
No penalty. Officials have checked it in the background, but Suter, his arm was in a natural position for what he was doing. Definitely hits his arm, but here we go. Rangers lose it. Kyriakopoulos, the left back, hooks the cross in from the left-hand side, but it's too close to Butland, who commands his 6-yard box well and rolls it out quickly to Nico Raskan. Rangers have it with Aarons, and now Suter, left-hand side of his own box. Quick pass into the feet, it's first time round the corner to Raskan, and now Rangers can drive forward here. Rangers countering, Palmer Brown in front, onto the right foot. And Raskan, his shot is blocked. The defender stuck to his task well. Now he's going down to the byline. Raskan chips it in straight at the goalkeeper. But those are the opportunities Rangers would have been looking for on the counter-attack. 0-0 it remains. Yeah, much better from Rangers, and that's why they do try and play fast, is to break them lines. It was a brilliant little one-touch pass from Finlay Curtis into Raskan, then he breaks the lines. It's almost free on free, and Raskan just can't get away from the defender. His shot gets blocked. But again, that's what you've got to control when you play fast and when you slow the game down. That was the perfect opportunity. Panathinaikos were breaking, Rangers turned the ball over, and they've got the opportunity at a counter-attack. Yeah, absolutely. Raskan with a good turn of pace there, driving towards the box, but Palmer Brown stuck to his task well, the American international. But there's a worry moment here, and now Panathinaikos have pinched off Aarons, looking for the foul. No whistle, and Butland has to make the save. Well, Pelistri was through one-on-one with Jack Butland, and he makes a huge save. Rangers were looking for the free kick. It wasn't coming, and that is another massive moment from the Rangers goalkeeper.
And a brilliant save. It's 1v1. He does ever so well. Cammy will tell us in a second or two, but Aarons, I don't know what he's thinking about. He's there, he's got enough time, just get the ball out his feet, pass it back or clear your lines. It's about decision making. He's got to make his mind up a little bit quicker. He didn't. Pelistri robs him, and he's through 1v1. And again, we've got to thank Jack Butland. We're not a goal down. Yeah, I think Jack Butland again. Aarons just switches off for me. I don't think he realises the player's there. Thinks it's much easier than it is. He steals off him. It's not a free kick for me, and that's a massive save from Jack Butland, because if they score on 13 minutes, that changes this whole tie. So huge save. He spreads himself really well, makes it difficult for him. Brilliant moment for Jack Butland. Brilliant from the Rangers goalkeeper. Another big moment in this tie, but frustration for Panathinaikos. Their finishing continues to let them down. Pelistri, formerly of Manchester United, and Panathinaikos paid around £5 million for him. Uruguay international, young player, but still lots of experience. Perhaps expect a bit better in that position. Coming in from the right-hand side, Butland with a crucial stop. We're just about at 15 minutes, and Rangers have survived without conceding. They have given up a few chances. Tavernier at right back stands on the ball and then drives infield, goes back out to Nasser Giga, who is a young player at just 22 years old, but he's had Champions League experience at Red Star, but it's given away with a pass into midfield, and now Pelistri is buzzing about on the right wing, but Rangers have it back, and it goes to Aarons, and Suter controls in his own box, goes back to Butland. Butland controls it, still in his own area, nudges it to Tavernier just outside the box, lashes it up the touchline. It's a good pass from Tavernier, first time from Dowell into midfield. Rodwell's a bit slow to get there, and it's all very scrappy. Now Diamonde recovers, but then he slips, and then as he's on the ground, hooks it forward, and Rangers have it back somehow, as Rodwell has it in his own territory. Goes to Suter, and now Max Aarons, who was caught napping for that Pelistri chance, is to recompose himself
Suter, left centre back. Rangers just trying to calm it down. Tavernier at right back. Back to Suter. Just trying to invite a bit of pressure, Rangers, and then spring through the gaps. And as Tavernier goes back to Suter, and he just kind of scoops it horribly into the air towards the halfway line. It was an awkward one for anyone to take. Curtis does well with his pressure, but it breaks into midfield for Maksimovic, the Serbia international. And now Panathinaikos can move down the right-hand side. Curled into the box, headed away by Suter. Back out for Chirivella. And now Panathinaikos come again, laid off to the edge of the box. And the left back, Kyriakopoulos, was asking for it, doesn't get it. They work it through Bakasetas just inside the area. Rangers swarming the ball, and a challenge goes in from Suter, but it breaks again to the edge of the box. And here is Kyriakopoulos, and it's straight at Butland, who had to dive low. Comfortable enough save from Rangers number one, but one he had to make. Still 0-0.
Yeah, Panathinaikos just probing along that 18-yard box, moving the ball in till they can get that opportunity down this left-hand side. It's a clean strike. It's just too close to Jack Butland. Good hands though. Again, makes a good save. Comfortable for a goalkeeper of his quality.
Rangers play a little bit too narrow for my liking.
It's that straight ball again.
Yeah.
Again, it happened 5 minutes ago there. It was John Suter. They'll leave him on the ball. He tries to play a straight ball into Raskin, and the break's on again.
And you just get the feeling, Cammy, they know exactly how they're playing, and they're just ready to pounce. Yeah,
we're just getting a wee flash of a replay of that chance for Pelistri, where Aarons was caught. Is it a foul, Derek? What do you reckon?
No, I don't think so. I just think Aarons is decision making. Get onto the ball as quick as, and get it out your feet. Where you're going back to Butland, where you're going to find a Rangers player, where you're just, taking the safer option. Just put it out the park.
Forwards for Curtis to chase. Hooked back over the head of the defender, but Danilo is straight onto it. Back to Curtis on the left-hand side. He's moving in towards the corner of the box, waiting for an option. There isn't an obvious one forthcoming, and it's to go backwards, and Rangers have to go all the way back to their centre halves. And here's Giga in the centre circle, takes it over halfway, asking for some movement, gets it from Diamonde, but it's a heavy touch, and he's looking for a foul from his man who was at his back, doesn't get it. And now Panathinaikos want a free kick, but they're not going to get it either. The referee letting things go. Rodwell in the centre circle, turns one way then the other, gives it to Suter. Raskan, sliding challenge, intercepts, breaks for Danilo, and then forward and flicked into the path of Diamonde, but defender Palmer Brown comes across in the box just to hook it out for a throw-in on this near side. Better from Rangers. 19 minutes played, and it's goalless. Still 2-0 to Rangers on aggregate.
The road were locked maybe a couple of times, but again, we expected Butland. He's a big part to play tonight. He's already made a couple of good saves, but again, we'll probably continue to say this for the whole of the game. At times, those straight balls, Cammy's touched on it as well, into the middle of the park. They know exactly what's coming, and they're pressing, they're winning the ball, and they're breaking in Rangers, and it's causing us far too many problems, to be honest with you.
Rangers back on halfway. Suter give and go with Rothwell, and back to Nasser Giga, back to Jack Butland's Rangers, of course, last in the main draw of the Champions League in 22-23 under Giovanni van Bronckhorst. It was a miserable campaign once they got there. They've still not had a win in the Champions League main draw since 2010, and Stephen Naismith's goal. Ibrox beat Bursaspor of Turkey. How they would love to get back to the big time. Panathinaikos, it's been even longer. 9-10 season since they were at Europe's top table, but the Greeks come forward, slid down the right-hand side of the Rangers box. Pelistri will chase. Ioannidis is in the middle. It's a header, and Butland again with a save. It was in his direction, and it's just instinctive reactions to tip it round the post, and another chance goes a begging for Panathinaikos. 0-0.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball in from Pelistri on that right-hand side, and he just gets in front of John Suter, makes the run, and again it's just a reaction save from Jack Butland. A brilliant save, sort of 8-9 yards out, gets his head on it. Yeah, it's a really good save. I think he just stands strong, makes his still as big as he can, almost just hits off him, and again a fantastic save.
Incredible save. It's just pure reaction. You know, he's not diving, just standing up, and the ball is flashed at him with the head, and you know, it just automatically, that left hand just comes out, you know, instinctively, you know, puts it round the post. But under real
corner
pressure,
worked into the area, flicked on, back post for Tuba, but Kieran Dowell with a crucial intervention at the back stick for Rangers to just get in front of the big defender and knock it behind for another corner.
Yeah, Panathinaikos have had, 6 or 7 corners already, and again they changed up, short corner, worked it, managed to flick into the back post, and that's a really important header from Kieran Dowell.
Against a bigger man as well, Ahmed Tuba, the Algerian.
that's why maybe Dowell's in the side. You know, we spoke about before the game, Osama. You know, we thought he might be in, you know, with that pace and the trickery, but need your defensive duties as well, and Dowell done it.
Bakasetas curls it in with the left foot, flicked away by Suter, sent back into the Rangers box. Ioannidis is lurking, and then he gets a toe on it, but he's back to goal, and it drops for Aarons to lash clear down the field and relieve some pressure on Rangers. 22 played, and they've survived with their first leg lead intact. But Panathinaikos coming in waves at the moment. Pelistri right hand side of the box, sliding challenge from Suter. It's been kept in on the far side, cross, and it's behind for yet another Panathinaikos corner.
It's relentless from Panathinaikos. You know, they've got their tails up, they're creating chances, just can't put the ball in the back of net. Are Rangers riding their luck? Absolutely at the minute, but again, we've already got Jack Butland to thank. You know, that's been, what, 3-4 great saves already.
Bakasetas with the in-swinger here into the near post, headed by Raskan out to the right hand side, and Bakasetas shifts it onto the left boot. Low cross is blocked again, and it spins away, and Rangers just trying to get it further up the field, but it keeps getting sent back. Kyriakopoulos flicked header, then Rothwell's there to just nudge it further up the pitch, and Rangers can't get out their own half at the moment. Given away again as they tried to clear, but no conviction on it. Oh, that's talking about lack of conviction. That's a poor pass from Panathinaikos to give it straight to Rangers, and they have some breathing room here as Tavernier, halfway up Panathinaikos half, fairly central, gives it infield to Rodwell, the midfielder, back to Tavernier, and Rangers just trying to get a foot on the ball and just give themselves a bit of breathing room, a bit of time to think in the red hot heat in Athens. It's back with Suter. Rangers trying to be patient, trying to invite Panathinaikos out and then strike, as we did see them do on one occasion with Raskan breaking up the pitch, and it's in towards Diamonde. It's a brilliant pass into midfield. Diamonde into Dowell, right hand side of the area, gets on the left foot, crosses blocked, comes back for Dowell, tries to control it, and he does, just inside the area. Now it's for Diamonde, backwards to Rodwell, out now to Tavernier. Tavernier coming in the pitch, and he's going to cross from deep, and it wasn't really anything that was going to threaten the Panathinaikos defence, and then it's chipped into Chirivella, the Spaniards, formerly of Liverpool, as it's back now to Palmer Brown, plays it forward. Palistri's pace is causing problems as he gets there before Aarons. Aarons is standing up now, Palistri waits for support, and it's a brilliant challenge from Raskan to take it off the toes. I think it was Bakasetas who was just on the edge of the box there and thought he was in space, but the little Belgian battled back to rob him of possession. But again, it's a Panathinaikos throw on the far side, and then there's a foul, and they just keep coming. Free kick as Raskan, he gave him a little nudge and then got the foot in.
Yeah, it's good tracking back for me. I think he does really well to get back, follows the run again, he just nudges him. But this Italian referee, he's not giving many free kicks. He's certainly letting the play run and letting it go.
It is indeed.
It's a fair old pace to the game as well.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the heat, you know, it's 30 odd degrees, so you wonder how it's going to affect the players a little later on. But at the moment, you know, it looks as if both sides, you know, are going at full tilt.
Bakasetas, 75 caps for Greece, vastly experienced. He's going to curl it in with the left foot towards the penalty spot, and the header comes in from Palmer Brown, but he's glanced it over the top and he's raging with himself. That goes down as another good chance for the home side.
Yeah, it's a good ball in from Bakasetas, and again he finds himself in space. He gets enough on the header, you can see he's trying to action it towards the goal, maybe just enough pressure, doesn't catch it right, maybe comes off his shoulder, but it's another opportunity for Panathinaikos.
Yeah, they've got great delivery from the wide areas. You know, some of the balls that have been put into the box, you know, keeper can't come because of that flat, the pace, in swinging as well, so difficult for the defenders and goalkeepers to deal with. But the worrying thing is, more often than not, it's a Panathinaikos player that's, you know, getting first contact.
Yeah, we're having a water break here, scheduled after 26 minutes on the clock in Athens because of obviously the sky-high temperatures. They had to actually close the Acropolis at one point this week for tourists and staff because it was too hot, over 40 degrees at some points in Athens across the course of the week, 30 well into the evening in Greece this evening, and it's probably a welcome break for the Rangers players because they have been a bit under siege as Jack Butland was sitting on the turf there for a bit, but he's stretching off. He looks like he's okay.
I don't know, is that Cammy a little issue with his calf?
Yeah, calf or Achilles potentially, yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully nothing serious because he's played a huge part tonight already. Massive saves, certainly 2 huge saves for Rangers so far. And again, we spoke about how important it was that Rangers don't concede in the first 30 minutes. They're almost there and they've got to try and get their way through. Listen, we speak about Russell Martin, all this philosophy, but it's all about character at this moment in time because they've got their backs against the wall at the moment.
And we are good to resume, as is Jack Butland. Goes short into Rothwell, first time to Giga, and then Giga's passes. Well, it's almost intercepted. There was a toe on it from Juricic, but it broke for the Rangers play, but then Tavernier's robbed inside the box. Juricic across, and the finish is scooped over the top. And how many lives are Rangers going to have here this evening as Palistri played across onto his right foot and he has skewed it over the top somehow.
It's a horrible miss, but Giza, what is he doing? You know, he nearly gives the first one away. Learn your lesson, you know, just get the ball further up the park. Again, he plays a little straight pass and they're onto it in a flash. And I tell you what, he's got to bury that. But that's a shocking miss. Again, it's you know, they've not created that. That's from I mean, we talk about building from the back, but that's a bit silly for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have to credit Rangers for their performance in that first leg to get the 2-goal advantage, but the chances they've given up, I mean, on other evenings they could be well out of this tie, but they aren't. They're still 2-0 to the good on aggregate, and here comes Curtis trying to get to the byline, and he's won a corner. Better from Rangers as we approach the half-hour mark. It is still somehow goalless in Athens, and now Rangers up the other end trying to apply the sucker punch, and it would be a sucker punch if they could get the first goal in Greece and extend their advantage.
Yeah, again though, that was playing out from the back. That's sensible playing out from the back for me. The spaces are there, the opportunities are there. It comes into Diomande, manages to get turned, he drives up the pitch with loads of space. You're not playing in tight areas where they are, as Derek said. They're setting up a trap for Rangers, they're waiting for them. That was much better from Rangers, and they've got an opportunity from set piece here.
Joe Rodwell is ready to take on the far side. Here he comes, right boot, it's really high to the back post. Suter gets something on it, and then it's into the edge of the 6-yard box, and there's a strike comes in from Curtis, and it's skewed wide. The referee's whistle is gone, but that's a little half chance for Rangers there.
It's a strange one, isn't it, the corner kick? You know, I was going to say it's got snow on it, but certainly not in Athens tonight. But there's so much height, way to the back post, and as it comes back, I tell you what, it's a chance. You know, he's going backwards, isn't he? And he's just trying to get a decent connection on it as Curtis, but doesn't quite connect. And you know, he's been in decent, well, he's been in good form of late. You know, got a couple of goals already, so he'll be disappointed he didn't at least hit the target there.
Yeah, I think it was. Listen, John Suter does brilliant, just to guide it back into a danger area. Then a little bit of chaos happens, the ball just falls to Curtis, and as you say, that's definitely a half chance for me. If he gets that on target, it goes in.
Yeah, I have to say that at first glance I thought it'd taken a deflection, the way the ball kind of skewed wide of the post, but Curtis just kind of never really got hold of it. And Kieran Dowell has been given a little lecture by Simone Sozza, the Italian referee, because he caught Kyriakopoulos, the left back, a tad late, which relieves the pressure on Panathinaikos. Still goalless between the Greek side and Rangers, whose 2-0 lead on aggregate is intact in this Champions League second qualifying round tie, but Rangers are giving it away in midfield, and now Panathinaikos can break left-hand side. Little pass towards Bakasetas, and Giga's made the challenge, and it's come off Bakasetas and behind for a goal kick. The Panathinaikos players are protesting, but I have to say it did look a goal kick to me. As you see a little replay here, guys.
I think Asia does well, but again, it's those little duels in the middle of the park. Panathinaikos coming out on top yet again, so there's just a couple of things. Listen, I'm delighted that there's no scoring, but I don't know how, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that Palistri chance. I mean, he's on the penalty spot, onto his right foot. He's got to take it first time, but gets it all wrong. Huge chance for Panathinaikos a few moments ago, but it is still goalless. Rangers hanging in there just about as we approach we're into the final 14 minutes of the first half. But another driving run from midfield from Juricic. Rangers just get across in the nick of time and clear it out for a throw-in. They're not helping themselves at times, Rangers. You can see what they're trying to do.
That's too easy, that. You know, he picks the ball up, he's 35-40 yards from goal. He gets on the half turn, he just drives forward. You know, there's got to be contact. You know, as soon as he's on that half turn, you know, he's got to be tackled.
Ioannidis, brilliant turn down the left-hand side of the box. Kyriakopoulos in a deeper position to receive the ball now, the left back. Chirivea across to the far side, and Kotsiras goes for a run and he chips the cross in. It's over the first man in green and white, half cleared, and then Tuba gives away the free kick. The centre half pleads with the referee. That's a reprieve for Rangers. And another warning sign. He's just come into the back of Danilo there.
Yeah, again, Danilo does well. He has to get there. He has to try and give his defence a little bit of relief in this pressure. It's been so relentless from Panathinaikos in this first half. It'll have taken a lot out of the Rangers team so far, but again, he does well, just buys the free kick, and they just need to see themselves over the line till half time. They've got 12 or 13 minutes to get there.
Into midfield again, as goes wide Curtis, and then Aaron's Danilo dropping in back to Nasser Giga. Last time these two clubs met was in Rangers' run to the UEFA Cup final 2007-8. Nachonovo's goal in Greece, taking Rangers through on away goals after a 1-1 draw. In the second leg, goalless in the first at Ibrox. And it's Rangers who are heading through in this one as it stands. It's Panathinaikos with the ball at the back. Chirivea. And on to Palmer Brown. And then Tuba. Slowing the pace down slightly, but then it goes long from Tuba. Giga comes across and plays it out first time for a throw-in to the home side, who are keen to get on with it. Ioannidis, the captain, taking it towards the left-hand corner flag, holding it in. Tavernier's got both arms round him and then bundles him to the ground, and it's just careless from James Tavernier. As soon as you put your arms up and round like that, the player goes down. You're just giving the referee a decision to make.
Absolutely right. There's just no need for it, you know, and we've struggled a little bit in terms of set pieces getting in. We've been saying how well, you know, their delivery is. It's really good, and they've now got a great opportunity down this left-hand side. It's going to be an in-swinger again towards goal, so it's about making the first contact.
34.5 played. Panathinaikos 0, Rangers 0. Free kick, and it's whipped in by Kyriakopoulos. Header just over the top. And it's Ioannidis, the captain, who's sent another chance, more difficult this time, off target for Panathinaikos, and they are racking them up, the efforts on goal. And Rangers, though, crucially kept them scoreless, and some profligacy as well in there, no doubt.
Again, it was a decent ball in the box, and Ioannidis just gets on to the end of it. Rothwell's probably just tight enough to him to force him to head over the bar, but as you say, they're racking up these chances.
And Diamonde has given away a free kick in his own half here. Just a little tug of the jersey via Ioannidis, or pulls his arm really. And again, there's not much contact, but referees scarcely let you away with that as it comes in from deep, but Butland's comfortably under that one for Rangers, and he bowls it out along the grass quickly. It's played into Rangers midfield, but Danilo had to come an awful long way just to get onto that, and then he's under pressure and he's put it out for a throw-in on the far side. And the Rangers game plan, apart from the scoreline, it feels like it's not really working at the moment.
Yeah, they're not taking care of the ball as good as they should be at the moment. I think that's what the manager was saying. You know, they've got to be bang at it, you know, really precise, and at the moment they're not, and that's why there's this wave after wave of attack.
36 played, 0-0. Onto the right hand side, Pelistri coming infield, fizzes the pass in left by Ioannidis, but it's left for Tavernier, who stays calm and knocks it to Raskan. And then Rangers have the ball. Can they keep it for more than 2 and 3 passes this time? Rothwell carries it forward into a tight space. He's done well and offloaded it, and Rangers get the free kick. Rothwell caught late, and that, or it's Aarons I should say, over on that far side. He's been caught by Bakasetas, who's being told off by the referee. The good thing for Rangers is the longer the score stays like this, and Panathinaikos have been the better side by far, but the frustration might just start to creep in.
Yeah, certainly it's already creeping in for them. I think they're getting a little bit frustrated. You can see by that challenge there on Aarons that he's just very, very late, and that's just sheer frustration. They've had so many opportunities to get a goal in this first half, and they've not taken it. Absolutely suits Rangers going in 0-0 at half time, and they'll be delighted to get in there at half time, because as Derek says, for me they need to take care of that ball better. They can't keep turning it over, because eventually Panathinaikos will take one of these opportunities.
And they played it forward there to Curtis, and he was offside. So Panathinaikos come forward again. It's a ball into Tavernier, who stoops to head back to Jack Butland, who again has come up with, well, 4 or 5 saves, but 2 or 3 of them really big ones. A couple other more comfortable efforts for a goalkeeper of his standard, but some brilliant saves as well. One-on-one with Pelistri in particular, as Rangers attack down the left-hand side. Curtis comes in field, shot blocked and behind for a corner kick to Rangers. Improved play.
It was better play. It was 3 passes. They're up the park. You know, it's a good ball. Danilo drops really deep, gets on the half turn, out to Curtis. He drives forward into the box, trying to get a shot at goal. So 3 passes, you're up the park. So you don't need sometimes 10, 12, 15 passes. You know, 2 or 3, you can get yourself up there. Now they've won themselves a corner kick.
Joe Rothwell prepares to take the Rangers number 6. 7 minutes to the break, and it curls in. Again, it's back post and the header. Giga went up there. Suter was in, as well as Raskan, and it goes over the top. I think it might have been the little Belgian who got the touch. Certainly found a scoring streak at the end of last season.
Terrific nerve.
Yeah.
I don't know how big he is. What is he, 5'9", 5'10"?
It's tiny. Again on Saturday, one of the goals came from Raskin's header, and then Curtis put the ball in the second.
Cam, he's in amongst all the big guys. They're all 6 foot plus, you know, 6'2", 6'3". And he's the one that gets up there and
I think
wins
what he
it.
does well is timing his jump.
Yeah.
Again, it was an opportunity, that a decent ball in the box, and again he gets good contact on it, probably just a little bit too much, and it goes over the bar.
Giga back to Butland, and the home fans keen to see some pressure on the ball, and they get it as Rangers go long. Kyriakopoulos sends it towards Juricic, but Rangers have it. Diamonde into Raskan, up the pitch, but Dowell can't hold it, and it breaks back Rangers' way. Curtis infield, and it's Rodwell in the centre circle, knocks it a few yards to Raskan. Walking pace for Rangers at the moment as they just try and get themselves into a position to strike. Just coming up to the 40 minutes on the clock, and it's still goalless, crucially, for Rangers. If you've just joined us live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, that 2-0 aggregate lead intact somehow, despite numerous chances for Panathinaikos and some big saves from Jack Butland. Rothwell out to Aarons, down the side to Curtis, shrugged off the ball, played long by Panathinaikos, won by Rangers, and then Joe Rodwell going back towards his own goal. He's had his pocket pick, and this is dangerous. Edge of the box, I think it's Juricic into the area. And it's Juricic, and he chops onto the left foot, and then the ball to the near post, and it's just a stray leg from the defender, which keeps it from going into the 6-yard box. And then there's a slip on the ball from Raskin, but he's done well to recover, gets it back and lays the pass off. Rangers just can't get any settled play as it's popped to Rodwell, but even that was an awkward height and he can't take it under control, and under pressure has to go back to Butland, who scoops it up, and it's a good pass out wide to the far side, and Aarons, who drives forward and as well into the Panathinaikos half, lays it to Curtis, who goes back to Aarons, but he's just nudged out of the way by Palmer Brown. Good composed defending from the American. It goes behind for a goal kick. 41 played, 0-0 in Athens in this Champions League second qualifying round tie. It's breathless.
I'm knackered.
Yeah, well, you have to say, from in terms of Russell Martin, he's definitely not worried about the heat, because even Rangers are trying to play a tempo. It hasn't always come off, but
some of it's heart and mouth stuff, isn't it? You know, you're watching it, you're on. Well, I don't know if Gammy is, but I'm on edge, you know, at times watching them. But you know, in this heat, it's been played at a fair old pace as well. You know, and they've made so many chances. Rangers had that decent chance from Curtis, albeit it was going backwards. You know, what, 7-8 yards from goal. But I like what they're doing now. Just take the heat out of the game. You know, get a few passes. Because it's been a frantic pace. This is the exact way they should be playing. You know, try to come off a little angles. It's when they play those little straight balls, you know, Panathinaikos are on them, you know, like a shot. So this is better play.
Giga, it feels like Rangers are trying to put some quick one-touch passes in through the lines, and quickly they're running at Panathinaikos' defence. But it's the first pass that's often the difficult one, but that one's perfect for Diamonde. Comes out to this near side and lays it to Kieran Dowell, who is one-on-one, but there's the problem is he's not really a winger, has to check back on the left foot instead of taking on his man, and then he knocks it back to Tavernier after receiving it from Diamonde into Rodwell. Further into midfield, and Rangers, having worked so hard to get up the pitch, forced to go backwards. Giga to Diamonde, brilliant turn, faces forward but can't put it in front of Dowell, who's kind of stepped over it as he tried to readjust, and it's back to the goalkeeper Dragowski, but that's a poor clearance to Rodwell, but his touch isn't the best, and it spins out for a throw into Panathinaikos on this near side. 2 minutes to the break and it's still 0-0.
It was a better period for Rangers there, as Derek was explaining. Just control of the game, loads of little passes, nice movements. They were much better in possession, and they're going to have to do that in the second half, because they can't keep giving up these chances. Eventually Panathinaikos will score if they keep giving up good opportunities.
And Cammy, when they do play a ball forward, it's Giza, he's done it a couple of times. Diamonde just dropping in. It's at an angle. It's not a straight ball where he's back to goal, back to his opponent. It's on the half turn at the angle. I think that's really important. Just it kind of hurts me a little bit when they play those little straight balls.
Rangers get a valuable free kick on the far side near their own box, as Ioannidis was a bit too eager. Bundles Max Aarons to the ground, just shoulders him, and the full-back feels the contact and is sprawled on the turf. Rangers free kick in their own half. Well, I mean, it's hard to say whether Russell Martin would have taken this, in terms of he certainly would have taken the scoreline, but in terms of the performance, I'm not sure it's what the Rangers head coach would have been looking for. But I guess if they can repeat this in the second half and ride their luck, and Jack Butland continues to pull off saves, it doesn't really matter in terms of simply getting through to the next round. But we know bigger tasks lie ahead, perhaps not in the next round, but certainly in the playoff rounds. If Rangers play like this and don't improve, there's precious chance of them getting through to the league phase.
Yeah, listen, Russell Martin will be delighted with the scoreline going in at half-time. He'll know that his team can play a lot better than this. Again, in possession, it is difficult when you're under pressure. Yes, of course it is, but I think he knows his players can deal with the ball a lot better. They can move the ball, take care of possession, and not give the ball away as much, because ultimately that's what's hurt Rangers. Them straight passes, when they're giving balls away in their last third and allowing Panathinaikos opportunities. So I think he'll be fairly positive going in at half-time, knowing that his players can certainly do a lot better in the second half.
Tavernier having a bit of crack with Ioannidis, who put his leg out, and Tavernier felt contact and went to ground. I think the Panathinaikos captain suggesting that he didn't touch him, which the replay perhaps suggests he didn't, but the referee's given it. And we're into 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. These are crucial moments. If Rangers can, at the very least, get in at the break with their 2-goal advantage on aggregate intact, it'll be a huge win for them, given what has gone on for much of this first period.
And it looks as if they've ran out a little bit of steam at the moment, or just getting a little bit disillusioned as well at the moment, because they've put so much into the game. They've had so many chances, but the game's still sitting at 0-0. So it's a good first half, certainly for Rangers in terms of the scoreline. Cammy's absolutely bang on the money. Could it have been better from Rangers? Of course it could, and I think there will be a little bit of kind of frustration from the manager, but you know that we spoke before the game, showing a certain mentality, a bit of character. They've certainly done that, and they're hanging in there at the moment.
What'll happen as well is, and we can see it already, Panathinaikos are getting frustrated. Of course they're getting frustrated with the way that this first half went. They've not scored, so the longer it goes, then it plays into Rangers'.
Talk me through that one, Cammy. Did you see the keeper?
I think it got absolutely rocketed back at him, and he's gifted Rangers a corner. What a time this would be to score.
I'm giving the goalkeeper a complete pass on that one. That's one of the worst pass backs I've ever seen. Fired back to him at awkward height, and he's just had to put a boot on it, and it's flown behind for a Rangers corner. 10 seconds left of this first half. This will be the last act. If Rangers can score here, Rothwell with a corner curled into the near post, won by Panathinaikos, and as is the second ball, and now there's a counter on here, and Rangers will be looking for the referee's whistle, but it is Pelistri who has his heels clipped there by Dowell, who's going to go into the referee's boot, and he felt it was a necessary challenge. The Rangers midfielder stroke wide man this evening. Good play from Pelistri.
Yeah, listen, he was getting into that danger zone, and there was also Panathinaikos players coming up the pitch at pace, so Rangers, I think he made the right decision to play the foul there where it is. It's far enough away from the goal, but they've still got to defend this set piece coming into the box.
They do indeed. We've nearly played the 3 minutes of added time now in this first half. 0-0. Juricic and Bakasetas over this free kick on the near side, left hand side for Panathinaikos. It's almost in line with the corner of the box on the left hand side. The Serbian and the Greek, the two over it, one right footed, one left. And Bakasetas goes forwards, curls it, sends it rather straight to the back post, and it's flicked on, and it's just over Kyriakopoulos and in the edge of the box with a strike, and it is into the heavens. And there was an offside flag in there anyway. It was the right back Kotsiras with the shot which he would rather not see ever again, and the offside flag was up anyway. And there is the referee's half-time whistle. Well, you could say job done for Rangers. Their lead is intact as they head for the changing rooms at half-time, but there have been so many nervous moments as things just boil over here at half-time. Rangers might take that as a fillip for themselves as Panathinaikos get a tad frustrated, a bit of pushing and shoving between Bakasetas. Diamonde's telling them to calm down, and the referee fairly content. There's nothing much in it as the players heads for the changing rooms. As I say, Rangers will feel its job done. It's 0-0. Their lead is intact, but numerous chances for Panathinaikos in that first 45 minutes. The best of them falling to Facundo Pelistri. One, he was through one-on-one after pinching it off Max Aarons. One-on-one with Butland. The goalkeeper made a brilliant save, and then Pelistri had the ball pulled back to him on the penalty spot. Somehow on the right foot skewed it well over the top when he had plenty of space to at least hit the target. Couldn't do so. Those were the best of many chances for Panathinaikos. Rangers have only fashioned a couple, the best of them falling to Curtis after Suter headed a corner back across goal, but he never got hold of it and it just dribbled wide of the target. So Rangers will look for improvement in their performance after the break, but at half-time, it's job half done. Panathinaikos 0, Rangers 0, 2-0 Rangers still lead on aggregate.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
When titans clash. When there's no love lost between the teams. When it's the match you've all been waiting for.
I can't look.
Wait.
How did he do that?
Nothing brings us together like great TV. And a TV licence covers you to watch all TV channels, so you can share in the excitement of all sorts of sports. It also funds everything you love from the BBC, including iPlayer and live radio, like this.
Panathinaikos 0, Rangers 0 at half-time in the second leg in the Olympic Stadium in Athens. So Rangers still leading by 2-0 on aggregate with 45 minutes to play. So scoreline very much what Rangers were looking for. Performance not so much. Cammy, Rangers really rode their luck, as they did in the first leg at Ibrox, but really rode their luck at times, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. Panathinaikos had a number of really good opportunities. Policeley, again, just the one that he puts over the bar from 10 yards, he's got to hit the target. Jack Butland's had a number of big saves at big moments as well. So they have rode their luck, but again, what I say during commentary as well, I think Rangers can play a lot better. In possession, they can play a lot better. Keep the ball. They've been playing these straight passes that Panathinaikos have been setting a trap and allowing to then go on the counter-attack and get all these opportunities. So Rangers just need to learn from it. I think there'll be certainly a few tweaks from Russell Martin at half-time tactically in the way they want to play, but listen, so far so good. The result's perfect for them. If this ends up 0-0 at half-time, then it's job done for Russell Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. Derek, you've been bemoaning some of the way that possession has been given away too easily, too cheaply. The ball's played into the middle of the park, and Panathinaikos are just picking Rangers off at times. And surely, regardless of what the manager said, you mentioned it pre-match, players have to take responsibility, and if something's clearly not working, then surely the onus is on the players themselves to take responsibility and say, right, let's try something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's decision making. They've got a style, a way of playing, and we get that, and you try and stick to the manager what he wants. But when you're in a certain situation, and we'll talk about Giza as well, he got away with one. Straight away he gets possession of the ball back, and what does he do? He plays a little straight ball. It's a pet hate of mine, as you probably know now, with the player. I'm not sure quite who it was. It might have been Dow, I'm not sure, but he's back to play. He doesn't know what's round about him. I think that might be the little situation there, but it's the decision making. It's the player on the ball. You ultimately make the decision. So if you're under a little bit of pressure, the ball was not on, just play the percentage pass, go a little bit longer, play a little bit safer, and keep the opposition away from goal. I think when Giza, as the game wore on, he played a couple of lovely little balls into Danilo, and it was balls that were at an angle. Danilo coming off at the angle, so he's getting on the half turn. It's again like they did in the first leg. There was we're just witnessing one of them here. It's a straight ball, 10-15 yard ball into the middle of the park. Panathinaikos, they've read it, they know it's coming, and they just poof, they're on Rangers. They're all over them, and they're on the break, and there's a shot to go. I tell you what, as good as they are, and they're a decent team, Panathinaikos, but I tell you what, see when they get in front of goal, they have no calmness about them whatsoever. It's as if they're so desperate to win this game that when they get into those situations, they're getting it all wrong. There's another one. We're seeing a host of these chances at the moment in the replays. Probably the listeners, and it's the deliveries that have been put in have been bang on the money, but it's the finishing. It's that little bit of guile, it's that little bit of calmness, it's that little bit of quality, and that's where Panathinaikos, they've lacked that.
Yeah, we're watching the highlights of the first half being shown on our monitors. 11 shots Panathinaikos had in that first period to Rangers 5. None on target from the visitors, 4 on target for the Greeks. And you'd have to say, Cammy, much again like the first leg, Rangers are having to thank poor finishing, as Derek mentions, from Panathinaikos, and on 2 or 3 occasions in particular, top saves from their goalkeeper Jack Butland.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Butland's been in great form again today. Some huge saves, and especially really big moments of the game. I think there was one on 13 minutes, and again, if that goes in, Rangers are really under pressure at that point. So there are big moments of that first half. He made some great saves. He certainly made one that was one-on-one, made his still really big. It was going right in the corner, hit off his leg. And then the other one from the cross, he almost just stands his ground. He's got his positioning perfect at the front post, knows that's the only place a striker can get his header in, and it's only 3 or 4 yards, and it's a brilliant reaction save with his hand. So listen, Rangers have got him to thank, and as you say, also Panathinaikos finishing. Some of the ones we're watching back here, that their finishing has been very rash and woeful almost, you would say, because they've been in really good opportunities and should have done a lot better with it.
Rangers' best chance probably fell to young Finlay Curtis, who obviously opened the scoring in the first leg with a terrific finish. He won't be as pleased with his attempt at scoring in this second leg. He just kind of was off balance almost. Derek just kind of came off the outside of his left foot. It was a big chance for Rangers, and clearly if they'd got a goal at that stage, it would have really settled them, you'd have thought.
Yeah, it was a better chance, Al, than we first thought. You know, the corner was looped away up into the air, miles into there, but Suter does well, nods it back across, and it kind of just breaks to the young man, and he's going backwards, kind of the ball's underneath his feet, and he just tries to get a contact on it, and he kind of sclaffs it a little bit. So yeah, you're right, he was off balance, he was going backwards, he wasn't quite set, but sometimes it's just one of them, if you can get a decent contact, because you're only 6-7 yards from goal. And what a sucker punch that would have been, because as the game wore on, you could see Panathinaikos losing a little bit of heart, losing a little bit of discipline, as we could see at half time. One or two of them pretty upset getting in to the dressing room. So they've put an awful lot into the first half, and they've not had any rewards. And yeah, Rangers, they've had a charmed life so far. But yeah, again, as we continue to watch this, their finishing has been extremely poor. But listen, I would have took this before the game. Has it got me an edge? Absolutely. Sweaty palms and everything. Am I getting a little bit annoyed at times? Yeah. But that's what football does to you, isn't it? That's why we love the game.
Yeah, it was Bakasetas actually at half time who was having a go again at Joe Rothwell. There was a coming together just shortly before half time. Rothwell went up for a high ball and maybe led with the forearm slightly. Bakasetas was certainly making a bit of a meal of it at the time, and he continued his gripe there at half time. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving as he was saying to Diamondi that Rothwell used his elbow, which he definitely didn't do, at least from what I saw. Derek's mentioned Nasser Giga a couple of times. Cammy, brought in on loan from Wolves in the summer, partnering John Suter at centre back, and Rangers clearly needed, they got rid of Robin Proper back to 20 in the summer there, in fact last week. They needed to stiffen up the centre of defence. For you, from what you've seen so far, is he the man to do that over the course of the season?
Listen, it's early days to make a decision on him. Again, he's not played a lot of football. What I would say is he'll be learning from these big games, and his decision making, Derek's already touched on that. Sometimes it's been poor, but he's not been the only one. We can't single him out and say he's been the only one. I just think that he needs to be aware that Panathinaikos are setting this trap. They're sitting off Rangers 2 or 3 yards. They're allowing the centre halves to make the pass, and then they're pressing the player they're passing into straight away. And again, it's happened to Danilo, it's happened to Diamondi in midfield when there've been them straight passes in there, so they just need to rectify that. I think he's looked okay defensively when he's had to defend. He's looked solid. He's a big unit of a boy, so listen, you can't be too critical of him at this moment in time because they've kept a clean sheet so far, but I just hope he learns in this second half about them straight passes and makes better decisions when he's playing the passes forward.
Do you expect Russell Martin to maybe change anything at half time, Derek, either tactically or personnel wise?
It'll depend how the players are feeling, because it's been I've said it a few times, it's been a frantic pace. Some guys will feel the heat worse than some of the others. So but at the moment, they've rode their luck. We've spoke about that. So I wouldn't be inclined to change anything at half time. I'd see how it goes into the second half. There was just signs going to the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of the first half that they had kind of lost a little bit of patience, lost their way a little bit, and that's a good sign. you know, because so just sometimes for whatever reason it just ain't your night, and it's hopefully going to pan out that way, because that's what it looks like with Panathinaikos.
We all know that Panathinaikos need to come out the second half, and certainly if Rangers can keep it tight the first 15 minutes, they'll start to throw more bodies forward, which will allow Rangers the opportunity of this breakaway, the counter-attack goal that they can hopefully get. And I'm pretty sure Russell Martin will be sending that message in at half-time just now. We need to be tight for the first 10-15 minutes. They'll get frustrated, they'll start to throw more bodies forward, which will allow more space in behind.
And I don't know who you would look to bring on. You know, you've got Yefty, you've got Dezers there, Danilo's
done okay, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's not had any chances.
You can see why, because he's linking the play.
Yeah.
Well, but he's coming ever so deep. But Curtis is breaking away in that left hand side. You've got Gizama. I would expect to see him at some point, because he might bring a little spark to the game. You've got Bailey Rice as well in there. You're thinking in the middle of the park, because Rothwell, Raskin and Diamondi, they are going to tire. They've got to in that heat, and they're putting.
The three of them, do they need to get their foot on the ball a bit better, keep the ball? Because those three guys are, I mean, we know a lot about Raskin and Diamondi, a bit less perhaps about Joe Rothwell in terms of what we've seen of him, but you know, those three guys should be people you can trust with the ball to keep it for concerted spells, which Rangers clearly need at the time.
Yeah, they should be doing better. They should be taking care of the ball. There's been, but there was signs going towards the end of the first half that they were doing that. You just look at them. Sometimes I don't know if they're asked to play in certain areas. I don't know. I'm not privy to that. I don't know. And it just, but there's at times they're better than what they've showed. Which disappointed me a little bit at times, because Raskin, he's so competitive. He's lost out a couple of times. Diamondi, so just that side of the game, you know, in that middle of the park, you know, that is so important that you get possession of the ball. So there's aspects of their game that should be a little bit better, but you know, you got to remember where they're playing, away from home, against a good side, in front of a hostile crowd.
Yeah, the winners of this tie will face in the third qualifying round the winners of the tie between Servette of Switzerland and the Czech side, Victoria Pilsen. Servette were 1-up from the first leg in the Czech Republic, and indeed it's looking even likelier that they will go through to the third qualifying round of the Champions League, because after just 4 minutes of the second leg, which is in Switzerland, they have gone 1-up on the night and have made it 2-0 on aggregate. Still waiting on the players to re-emerge onto the surface at the Olympic Stadium. Cammy, if you're looking at that Rangers bench, who do you think can come on and make a difference potentially in this second half?
Yeah, listen, the obvious one is Gizama again. I think as the game progresses, I don't think there'll be any changes at half time. I think just tactically he might tweak it on the pitch a little bit, and again I think what he'll be saying to the players is, look, be better in possession. But Gizama, I think, will be one that will enter the pitch at some point. Again, we mentioned Aaron's at left back, he switched off a couple of times. Would Jeffy come in there just to tighten things up? I don't know, with tiredness as well, not a lot of game time. Connor Barron, is he one that would just stiffen up that midfield if they really need to? So they've got options there. They've absolutely got options. Dessers again, if you need that physical focal point within the last 20 minutes and just going long to get Rangers up the pitch. It just depends how this first 10-15 minutes go in the second half of what Russell Martin will be thinking. But I think the key point will be for him is keep the ball better, be better in possession, because as soon as you give the ball away, you're defending again. It's waves of attack. We spoke about that in the first half. So if they can keep the ball better for longer periods, it'll just relieve that defensive duty a little bit.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that Panathinaikos will be thinking about changes sooner rather than later as well. Been decent enough. I mean, Derek, you said they're a decent side. They're probably, you know, they're not much better than that, are they? I mean, Rangers will feel that they should be progressing, particularly the position they've put themselves in now with 45 minutes to play. Yeah,
and it's in front of goal, and that's where you look for the quality, and they've lacked that so far. Not in quality in terms of setting up chances, because the balls into the box have been they've been really good, I've got to say, but that's what you look for in your forward players, that moment of calmness, you know, in front of goal, and they've not had that. But it's as if they want it that much, that they're kind of getting themselves into a little bit of a panic, and I hope that continues going into the second half. But yeah, a good side. They've good passages of play. They've worked the balls into wide areas, good delivery, but in front of goal, it's not been there. So long may it continue.
Yes, indeed. Rangers yet to test Bartolomei Dragowski, the Pole in the Greek goal. That looks like Panathinaikos are making their way back out. Ioannidis, the captain, he's certainly a player that Rangers will have to keep a close eye on. He hasn't really had too many clear sights of goal, and he's perhaps the one you would count on most in the Greek side to potentially bury an opportunity should it come his way. But as it stands, as we prepare for the second period out in Athens, it's still Panathinaikos 0, Rangers 0. Rangers leading 2-0 from the first leg as Bakasetas continues to make his point to the referee just ahead of the start of the second half. I think the Italian referee has made his point quite clearly as well, as we hand you back to the commentary team of Derek Ferguson, Cammy Bell and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Al. Yeah, Bakasetas like a dog with a bone there, just making his point in the referee's ear as a captain. Expect, although he's not the captain of this side tonight, although he is the Greek captain, has been for a while, but trying to influence the referee as the players are back out. As it stands, Rangers heading for a reunion with Swiss side Servette in the next round, of course, beating them 3-2 in aggregate a couple of seasons ago at the third qualifying round stage before losing to PSV, having beaten the Dutch side the year before. So that is what awaits Rangers if they can maintain this 2-goal advantage, or even at least not be forced to extra time. And we're back underway, and we'll see if there are any tweaks to how Rangers play. It's there's a Raskan is flat on his back. He's taking a sore one on the foot as that ball ran out for a throw-in, and he's down.
Did they step in a sprinkler or something there?
Yeah. I wasn't aware of any.
I don't know, or a marker, it looks like.
Yeah, it'd be a bit worrying for Rangers. He's back on his feet, the Belgian. It looks like something he'd probably be able to walk off. He's a warrior out there, I'm sure. He'll continue if at all possible. Rangers take the throw in towards Danilo, and the defender misses it, but it's Kotsiras who comes across, and he is for the throw in. Raskan back on the field, moving rather gingerly, but seems to be okay. It's gone out indeed for a Rangers corner, which is helpful for Russell Martin's men. Just 1 minute into the second half. Rodwell places the ball. If they were to make this 3-0, go a long, long way to qualifying into the next round. Rodwell delivers high again to the back post. Suter's up there. I think he got a touch in it, John Suter, but it's ended up coming off one of his teammates and going behind for a goal kick. But it's clearly a tactic from Rangers, Cammy, to hoist that to the back post.
Yeah, I think they're looking for that first contact for Suter to head it back across goal, as Finlay Curtis got his opportunity from in the first half, where a little bit of chaos happened and Panathinaikos didn't clear their lines. Because certainly most of the corners that have come in from Rangers tonight have been very deep into that back post area.
Yeah, and Suter seems to be the target, although Raskan got in the end of one in the first half. Free kick Panathinaikos. Tavernier on Filip Djuricic, the Serbian, who was one of the joint top scorers along with Tete, the winger on the bench, in Ioannidis last season for Panathinaikos. The three of them got 11 goals. They weren't big scorers, Panathinaikos, last season in the league, just the 42 goals in their 32 league games. So you can see why, perhaps, over the course of the first, three halves of this tie, are finishing not the best, if this is the evidence to go on. And here is Bakasetas, big switch of play with the left boot from the Greek international. Chested down perfectly by Djuricic, edge of the box, returned, goes down, looks at the referee, who is unmoved, and it goes through for Butland. And it's the left back, Kyriakopoulos, who went down. But Rangers survived that attack. 0-0 it remains.
Again, it's good defending. The recovery from the Rangers players tonight, certainly in the midfield. I'm not quite sure who that was, but tracking back is part of, well, it's an important part of the game.
I think it's Dill there, isn't it?
Dill, yeah.
Back.
In a game we spoke about, should the Rangers have went with Gassama tonight, but you can see, you know, maybe why they went with Dowell. You know, he's been decent in there as well. You know, one of the chances that Panathinaikos had in the first half, he got himself up well at the back post. So good defending from Rangers.
Yeah, he's had a couple of important moments going back the way Dowell, as the guys have mentioned. But here come Panathinaikos again down the left-hand side of Rangers box. Cross blocked behind for a corner. Kyriakopoulos, the left back, menacing down that far side. Again, he does well. He matches the run. He looked a little bit tired. I thought, is he going to switch off and let him go? But no, he matches that run, makes sure he gets the block in. But it's another corner Rangers need to defend. It's going to be Juricic to take over from Bakasetas at the corners for this one. Try and mix it up, and he goes short to the near side of the box. Work back to Kyriakopoulos, as Danilo's got out to close down the cross well, and then he's won it off the Greek left back and backheeled it into him and won a throw-in. So that was a rather pointless excursion from Panathinaikos as they tried to work a short corner. Yeah, trying something different, it just didn't come off. But again, you've got to give credit to Danilo, back doing his defending, and again, when he does get the ball nice and calm, just kicks it off their player to win a throw-in, slow the game down for Rangers. Panathinaikos lost their last home game of last season, 1-0 to the champions Olympiacos, but before that they were 16 unbeaten in home games, 13 wins in that time. Before that, Chelsea won 4-1 in the Conference League last season. So they are strong at home across both stadiums they play at, whether it's the smaller venue that they play some of their league games in or the Olympic Stadium. Here this evening, as Ioannidis lets that run across his body into the box, Rangers defend it, last long, and Rangers make it through the first 5 unscathed. Remains 0-0, 2-0 to the Scottish side on aggregate.
And that's so important, you know, that they start the second half strong. Excuse me, but they're showing a great desire at the moment. That mentality, that character at the moment, digging in. And then there was an opportunity, the ball just came to, I'm not too sure what defender it was, but it just, for want of a better word, they just hooks it up the park, and it's the right decision. And that's what we've been speaking about, decision making. You know, don't take any chances, you know, just clear your lines, get yourself up the park, which Rangers are at the moment. Here's Raskan, square across the box, 25 yards out is Diamonde, plays it into the area, right hand side to Dowell, back onto the left foot, goes backwards to Tavernier. Tavernier comes infield and he delays and dithers and has his pocket picked by Ioannidis, I think. It's played forwards. No, it wasn't Ioannidis, because he's now scampering after the ball. Suter's in hot pursuit, and the striker gets there first, but Suter defends it well. Out for a throw-in on the far side, but that was careless from Tavernier. Yeah, very careless. They're in a really good position as well, high up the pitch, 30 yards from the Panathinaikos goal. Just caught in two minds, didn't know what pass to play, but again the pass was obvious for me, just across, keep the ball moving. He's fortunate to get away with that one. And it's Panathinaikos with it down Rangers' right hand side, and they've switched it over to their right back position. Yanis Kotsiras down the line to Pelistri, who barrels round and then jinks inside, but it's good from Curtis, stuck to his task and got a foot in, but it breaks for Panathinaikos. Tuba, the centre half, out to the far side, and back with Tuba, the Algerian, in his own half. Rangers opting not to put pressure on, just everyone back in their own half at the moment, keeping them at arm's length, but then Siras is free down the right hand side. Looked like he was going for the cross, decided not to, plays it inside the back of Setas back, and now Rangers have forced them back. But Palmer Brown, the American centre back, keeps it going forward, and then it's chipped down the right touchline for Kotsiras to chase. He's done well to keep it in. He goes inside, he can get away from Aarons, who's stuck with him and forced him backwards. Panathinaikos remaining patient, looking for that opening as Bakasetas comes in off the right wing, left foot, curls a dangerous cross to the back post. Their man is completely free, and the header is in the bottom corner. Rangers look for a flag, and it comes. Juricic denied. He's straight offside. VAR is in action, so it will be checked. There was no one near him. His header was a cross goal. Butland couldn't keep it out, but for now the officials have kept it out, and it's going to be tight looking at the replay. Yeah, it looks extremely tight. Geezer may have played him on, but it was terrific play from Panathinaikos. Kept possession of the ball, worked their way down that right hand side, and we've spoken about the quality of the ball. It was a terrific ball, and it's going to be tight, that's for sure. It wasn't the cleanest of headers, you know, it just bobbles into the back of the net. You know, Butland tried to get that. He thinks it's going to the front post area, but he goes for that far portion. It's as if it goes over in slow motion, but yeah, the referee just waiting on the VAR decision. It's going to be close. I think he may just be offside.
Yeah, it's really tight again. That in-swinging ball has caused Rangers problems all night, and as you say, it's not a clean header. I think the spin of the ball just spins away from Jack Butland, doesn't allow him to get onto it, goes into the far corner, and as you say, it's ever so tight when you look back at the replay.
We're not getting the courtesy.
What I thought.
Yeah, we're not getting a replay as it stands, so we can't comment. We've seen one angle of it, and it looked very, very tight. And the VAR is Valerio Marini of Italy, and the referee, his compatriot Simone Sousa, is getting standing just calmly, waiting for the verdict. And Juricic is on his hunkers.
This is a
hands
huge moment as well.
It's a massive moment because you can hear the atmosphere in the Olympic Stadium has just increased. They smell blood, and if this goal stands, Rangers leads on aggregate will be halved, and we've still got 35 of the 90 remaining. The Panathinaikos players are around the referee, but not much point, nothing they can do. It's in the hands of the officiating team now, the VAR officials. Still they pour over the replay. Has Filip Juricic given Panathinaikos hope in this tie? Wonderful ball from Bakasetas off the left foot, deceived everyone really.
It was brilliant build-up play. I don't know how many passes they played, but they kept the ball. Felt like for ages, but when they worked into that wide area, it's all about the delivery. You know, so difficult to defend against, and we're just hoping that Gizia has just got himself out enough, you know, that the player's offside. It's taking an eternity. This is what frustrates us.
This is what, again, it must be so tight. Again, it's taken this length of time to make the decision.
Yeah, no semi-automated offsides as we have had at major tournaments and in the Champions League proper, as Ray Vittoria, the manager of Panathinaikos, gets frustrated, and he's going to gesture for the goal. The goal is given. Panathinaikos have life in this tie as the Olympic Stadium erupts. Rangers have ridden their luck in this tie throughout, and Juricic's header means their luck runs out, and finally Jack Butland concedes. It is Panathinaikos 1, Rangers 0, 2-1 to Rangers on aggregate.
It's amazing with the naked eye that you looked offside, and then when you see the still, it looks so tight, but we don't see the lines being drawn. We've not seen anything yet, but just looking at it when I watched the replay, I just thought it was just, and it was so tight, just offside. Yes, you're right, Cam. It's a spin.
It's a spin of the ball.
He's got a spin it with the head as well. It's just,
I think it's just the way the angles that header across, the spin of the ball just trickles into that far corner. It's agony for Jack Butland. And again, Rangers will be absolutely devastated with that, because it took so long. But again, it was probably just the heel of the Rangers defender that played him on. Rangers
have made a substitution. JD Gassama is on for Finlay Curtis on the left-hand side, as Russell Martin looks to hit back and re-establish that 2-goal advantage. Well, you can't say it hasn't been coming.
Yeah. It's a blow, of course it is, but they just need to gather themselves, you know, and get back to, you know, keep the head, don't get caught up, and don't lose the ball as easily as that, as they've just done.
They have done, and it's now with Juricic, the goal scorer. He's right-hand side of Rangers' box, puts it to the back post, and the player in the middle sliding, misses it by inches. It's Ioannidis, the captain, sliding in. He needed the merest of touches to guide it into a virtually empty net. He doesn't manage it, and Rangers survive.
Yeah, again, it's John Suter travelling with the ball. He's looking for a free kick. I don't think there's enough in it, and he needs to learn that the referee's not gave many free kicks, certainly soft free kicks tonight. And listen, the striker's just inches away from that to making it 2-0 to Panathinaikos. So Rangers just need to switch back on, get calm back in their head as well.
The Olympic Stadium is alive. Rangers are under the cosh and they're going back to Butland, who gets red. He's actually picked a decent ball to Raskan on the left touchline. Infield to Gassama, who goes down and gets the free kick just about the halfway line. A welcome one from Rangers' point of view. You're listening to Sports Sound live on BBC Radio Scotland, and we are 1 minute short of the hour played in Athens. Panathinaikos 1, Rangers 0. Rangers 2-1 up on aggregate, but it is the Greek side who have been piling on the pressure, as we now see the lines roughly drawn, you have to say, on our replay as Rangers are up the other end of the box. Raskan, now it's with Danilo across goal, blocked, it comes back to him, blocked again, and there's Gassama. Scores! Shady Gassama has had another instant impact off the bench. It's Rangers' first 40 forward in this second half, and the new signing and substitute makes it count. He is making a name for himself in his very nascent Ibrox career. It is Panathinaikos 1, Rangers 1, 3-1 on aggregate.
I was just about to say, just keep the ball, but they get themselves up the park. It's see when the ball breaks to them, I tell you what a clean hit that is. You know, it's a kind of awkward height on the volley, and he just strikes through the ball, and it's just kind of edging away from goal, but just clips it inside of the post into the back of the net. That Danilo there gets a shot off, it just breaks. It's another shot off, just comes out to him, and tremendous, what a hit that is.
Yeah, it's brilliant again. Raskin start just with that pace, driving at the defender. Danilo does brilliant to get that first shot away. It's a good save from the goalkeeper in a second. And you say Gassama, just when it sits up, it's a really difficult technique that. What a strike across, in off the post, just seen it from behind the angle. What a strike that is. It's probably his first touch of the game.
Cam makes a brilliant hit. I'd have dislocated my hip trying to hit that. It's a brilliant hit, just so true, and even better when you see it just coming off the inside of the post into the back of the net.
You will not see a cleaner strike than that. Wonderful as it sat off the turf. He's been booked for his celebration as well, Gassama, and it was him he won the free kick on halfway as well. Won the free kick. Rangers went up into the box through Raskan. Danilo had a shot blocked, then saved by the goalkeeper. It sat up for the former Sheffield Wednesday man, and he just doesn't lash at it, just caresses it into the far corner. Brilliant from Rangers, what a response. And that is an absolute sucker punch for Panathinaikos. They've worked so hard to get back in the tie, and almost instantly they have to do it all again as Rangers break. And Raskan chases. Palmer Brown gets there first and toes it back to his goalkeeper. Breathless stuff in the Greek capital.
We were wondering how Russell Martin's side would react. You know, we posed the question before the game with Peter Lovenkrands. He was posing the question, do they have the character, the desire? Well, they've just shown, yeah, they have got that.
What an impact from a new signing. You can't ask for anything more. Two brilliant goals from Shady Gassama as Rangers get a free kick, and you can just feel how flat the ground has gone.
Yeah, the frustration's going to build for Panathinaikos now, and again Rangers will get real belief from that. It was a brilliant attack, as I say. I think what's key is Raskin driving at pace into the box. It's always difficult for defenders when they're backtracking, they know they can't tackle, and then for me Danilo does brilliant. Two quick shots away, causes chaos, and yeah, Gassama's technique was phenomenal. But certainly Rangers will get a huge amount of belief from that goal.
62.5 on the clock, 1-1, 3-1 in aggregate to Rangers, and it is the visitors with the ball into midfield. Rothwell lays it to Suter and forward towards Raskan. Palmer Brown read it, came out, closed down, and it's got Siras, the right back, into midfield. Chirivella with a attempted switch, it's right on top of Tavernier, chests it rather heavily. He's asking for the goalkeeper to come. The goalkeeper's nowhere near it. It's his ball, and luckily he recovers, the Rangers captain. He's shouting to Jack Butland to come for that, but it was outside the box. And Panathinaikos have infringed just outside the area, and they'll get the free kick. Rangers.
He's lost his bearings, Tavernier. You know, the ball it's soaring away into the air. It comes down. He's trying to chest it back to the keeper. You know, he's about, what, 25, 30 yards out. I think he should just be, again, we talk about it, we'll keep talking about decision making, just clear your lines. He's trying to be a little bit too clever. Butland was never getting there.
No, I think Jack Butland made the right decision, just staying on his line, letting Tavernier deal with it. As you say, decision making again.
He actually had time to probably bring it down. He was, I think, a bit scared about Juricic on the far side.
But that's why I'm saying, Thomas, about trying to be too clever, you know, on the chest. You're saying, we have a look at it again, you know, just bring it down your chest and play a pass. But I just think he's trying to be too clever. I mean, you've just equalised, you've took the steam out of this Panathinaikos team, so don't make any silly mistakes now. Just try and get a hold of the ball, keep possession, try and see it out.
Was that a foul throw there from Max Aarons, or was it always Panathinaikos?
I think he took too far down the
stole
line.
the yards. Yeah, the throw-in's gone the other way to Panathinaikos, 15 yards in their own half. Dropped to Bakasetas, who lashes it right across the pitch with the left boot. It's a poor pass. Rangers have it. Rodwell in the centre circle, first time to Nasser Giga. Out to Raskan. And it's infield to Diamonde, then Aarons, who's recovered from being caught a few moments ago. 1-1 in Athens. Gassama, give and go, looks to get in behind, he's got great pace, he's just run into it. Kotsiras though, and the fullback gets the free kick. And Victoria Pilsen have levelled against Servette in the tie. The winner of that one will face the winner of this one, which as it stands, it's Rangers Servette. Servette still 2-1 up on aggregate. Rangers 3-1 up on aggregate in Athens. 1-1 in the night. As Panathinaikos, you can just feel, I don't know if it's the belief or the tempo's just gone out of them. That goal is just knocked the stuffing out of them, it feels.
Yeah, it certainly took the wind out of their sails, and again, it's just, they look a little bit flat, probably a little bit shocked as well, to be honest. Again, Rangers haven't had many opportunities in this game so far, and it looks as if all the steam's taken out of them. Rangers just need to control this part of the game. Again, keep the ball, keep good possession, because Panathinaikos will throw on subs soon as well.
Yeah, they're going to make a couple here, and it's Adam Nejda Cherin, the Slovenian international midfielder, who's going to come on for the right back Kotsiras. And Chete, the Brazilian winger who I mentioned, was one of their top scorers last season. He is also coming on, and it's Bakasetas, who maybe surprisingly makes way. His left-footed deliveries have caused all sorts of problems, including for the goal, but the change has been made, and it's an attacking one, really. Midfielder for a winger and a central midfielder for the right back, so perhaps a change of shape as well for Panathinaikos. But it's Rangers who come forward here. Diamonde then goes backwards with the pass. It's fired forward to Raskan in Panathinaikos territory. Raskan checks back, goes to Aarons, and Suter, square for Giga, the Wolves loanee, £10 million. Wolves paid for his services from Red Star Belgrade. Giga played the last couple of campaigns in the group stage and league phase of the Champions League for Red Star. And Rangers looking for a free kick. They're not going to get it as Panathinaikos pinch it and drive forward, and Tete's into the action, and he has his heels clipped by Raskan just about halfway. Free kick to the home side, who needs some inspiration again.
They look a bit mentally tired, I would say. I think just when they got themselves their noses in front, I think they just thought, and they had that chance as well, but it just shows you good substitution with the manager. And I like the way the Rangers are playing. They're not trying to play directly through the middle, at times just try to get round the outside of Panathinaikos and having a better outcome.
Panathinaikos with it, left hand side of Rangers box. Pilsen are 2-1 up now, so they've levelled that tie on aggregate. They're 2-1 up in Switzerland as Panathinaikos come forwards into Tete, first time, looking for his fellow substitute Cherin. Chirivella puts a foot on the ball, moves it left. Panathinaikos halfway up Rangers territory, pass in, little foul from Tavernier, I think, just clips Juricic, and be a Panathinaikos free kick, left-hand side of the box. That was Tavernier and Diamonde were there, but it's Diamonde gets the touch. Free kick given.
Yeah, I think it looks like a free kick there. Diamonde just coming in as the Panathinaikos player spins Tavernier, tries to get in behind, but again another dangerous position for them to put the ball in the box.
Yeah, Tete, the Brazilian, is over it. We've lost Paquisetas' delivery, but we'll see what he can produce here, the winger. Left-footed to the back post, and the header is spun away from goal, and Rangers clear. Panathinaikos lacking the inspiration we saw for the first hour. As Tete picks up, drives forward to the edge of the box. Good challenge from Rothwell, and then gets in front of Tuba and then hits the deck. Doesn't get the free kick, but gets the throw, or gives away the throw in. And he cleared his lines. Here's Tete as Panathinaikos go quickly. Dangerous spots left by everyone, and it just goes past Jack Butland's right-hand post. The goalkeeper went across, probably had it covered, but if Ioannidis has got in first, it was a goal.
It's another terrific ball into the only inches away from getting a connection. Again, it's, I tell you what,
There's two of them at it.
Yeah, and they're only what? They're only a stud away. Even a stud, if they get a stud on that, it's into the back of the net, because the ball's always going towards goals. Jack Butland's at full stretch. He's got to make himself big, but any touch and that goes into the back of the net. So they've just tried, as hard as it is, but they're working their socks off, Rangers, but try to stop those crosses at source, but it's so difficult.
70 minutes, 1-0, 3-1 in aggregate to Rangers. Sama cancelling out Juricic's opener for Panathinaikos, which came only a few minutes before. Well, if you don't include the VAR check, which took an eternity for Juricic's goal, judged just onside eventually. Here's Tuba, he's lining up one from distance. Oh, what a hit! Wide of the target. Fierce strike from the centre half, went for it. Not a million miles away.
Yeah, you just can see a real light from 30 yards, but I think Jack Butland's over there. He's got it covered. Listen, he hits it really well. Tuba just always kind of drifting away with that left foot away from the post.
Yeah, you said it, Cammy. Our angle initially, it looked tighter than it was by the post, but it was swerving away from goal. And Diamonde wins a free kick just over halfway for Rangers. Panathinaikos need to find some inspiration, because Gassama's equaliser has handed the initiative in this game back to Rangers.
It's good play from Diamonde, just buying the foul, winning the foul, middle of the park, just gives them a little bit of a breather. Now get a little bit of possession of the ball, so another good position, you know, so they just need to keep their heads, keep focused, keep that discipline, try and see this out.
Panathinaikos must be wondering, if it stays the same and they do head out, they only really have themselves to blame.
And they'll be kicking themselves.
Yeah. Because they've had more than enough chances across the two legs, with 20 plus stoppages left to play. It's,
you think about the goals that Rangers have scored against them, you know, absolutely three top draw
special goals, absolutely. And there's a ball in behind for Panathinaikos to chase from the far side. Juricic in there, low cross, brilliant block. Tavernier gets back. There's a left back, Kyriakopoulos. Has the flag gone up? I think it perhaps has, because he's stopped in his tracks and heading back towards his own goal. Just goes tad early, but that looks tight as well, yeah. Not sure the angles we're getting to see are the best, in fairness, but Rangers wary as Jefte is getting instructions from Russell Martin. He's going to come on. We'll see who's coming off very shortly. Max Aarons may be the one. Left back, of course. As Raskan comes across as well to get some instructions. And Russell Martin just getting the instructions on, but the home crowd getting frustrated at what they see as time wasted by Rangers, but there's water being passed on as well. But Rangers in control on the scoreboard, still have their 2-goal advantage after Panathinaikos initially halved it. More European action to come tomorrow night on Sports Sounds. We'll have full live commentary from Luxembourg, where Dundee United look to finish the job against Strassen in the second round of the Conference League, 1 goal advantage after last week at Tannadice. And then 8 o'clock Easter Road, 1-1 between Hibs and Midtjylland in the Europa League. Both commentaries here on Sports Sound. But now we're back underway as Rangers defend their 2 goal advantage. Free kick given. Tete felled in the middle of the pitch as he approached the box. It's Raskan who took one for the team, probably. Just trips him.
Yeah, I think he catches Tete there as he gets past him. Raskan has to make the decision to try and put a foot in. Again, it's in a dangerous position.
16 left of the 90.
Looks as if Jefties went left back and Aarons went over to the right hand side to probably offer that little bit more cover for Tavernier.
Yeah, I didn't see who came off there. Dowell. Yeah, makes sense. He was on our yellow card as well. Kieran Dowell put a shift in. And here is a free kick laid off, deflected, spins into the box, and there's a header, and it spins harmlessly into Jack Butland's gloves, as so much is done over the course of this tie. And Ioannidis, the captain of Panathinaikos, a Greek international, almost looks despondent. He's had a couple of chances himself, threw himself at a couple, haven't come off. And I think Cammy Rangers perhaps gone to a back 3 here.
Yep, it certainly looks like that.
Butland controls in his 6-yard box on the left foot, dinks it to Jefte, the substitute. Found a header into midfield for Raskan. There's a bit of space here for the Belgian. Turns, finds Gassama, and there's a good run from Jefte. Had to play him there, and he's come in field and given it away. Gassama, the first thing he's done wrong in a Rangers jersey, really. The option was there to slide that to Jefte, and he was in down the left-hand side. Here is the Brazilian.
As if it was too easy a pass to play, and he looks to play a more difficult one. You know, if he plays that with the right way to pass, Jefte's in there, you know, and putting a good ball across goal. Yeah, it looks as if they've tweaked the formation just a little bit.
Yeah, back 3. There's subs about to come on. Karol Swiderski, the Poland international striker, is one of them for Panathinaikos. The next chance they get to make some changes. Tin Jedvaj, another international of Croatia, perhaps one of the others on the bench being readied. He's a right back, centre back. As Max Aarons at right back, his more comfortable position, plays it forwards, and it's pinched by Panathinaikos. They're coming down the left hand side. This tie still not done. Well, that's a good recovery from Rangers, and Giga intercepts the ball. Came into the Rangers box. Tavernier has it next to the corner flag, and Shireen pokes it out, and Rangers will have the throw down next to their corner flag. 1-1, 3-1 on aggregate. Rangers on course for the 3rd qualifying round of the Champions League. At the moment it's all square in the tie between Pilsen and Servette, and here come the changes for Panathinaikos. Karol Swiderski is on, and Tin Jedvaj is off. It's Djuricic, the goal scorer, who is making way. And Swiderski, certainly more of a number 9 front man than a winger, so I'm just going to try and go up, and Jedvaj replaces Palmer Brown at the back. So Panathinaikos, it's kitchen sink time for them. Need to do something. They're heading out. They trail by 2 goals in aggregate. They have thrown everything at Rangers, and it's not been enough so far. Poor finishing, some great goalkeeping means, and some lethal finishing, means Rangers 3-1 up on aggregate with 13 left, plus stoppage time in this second leg.
Certainly the second half, I feel as if Rangers have been much better in possession. Whether that's down to Panathinaikos again, a little bit of frustration, they look a little bit tired, but certainly they've controlled the second half much better.
Gassama to Jefte on the left hand side, low ball, and Danilo didn't even attack that. He's got his hands in his head, felt like a near post run, could have put the defender under pressure, but it was cleared. Rangers throw though. Yeah,
they have had a bit more control, but they've rode their luck a little bit at times, because they've had 2 or 3 opportunities, you know, just across that 6-yard box. So
there's no doubt about it. Rangers have been lucky at times, but you know, it's all about getting through it, and they're on course to do so and they'll hope to build and be better as they go through these rounds, and of course start the league campaign away against Motherwell on Saturday tea time. And Motherwell perhaps would have been praying for extra time here. Doesn't look like we're going to get it at this stage, as Aarons goes down the right hand side. He's right on the touchline. He's got 2 men on him. Just lays it infield. Tavernier, and then Rodwell's given that carelessly away. It was an easy pass and fighted pressure.
Do you know, Thomas, I was going to say that just moments ago. I was looking at Rothwell, and he just looks a little bit leggy, a little bit tired. Maybe a little change in there as well, even up top with Danilo. A little bit more physicality. I think Cammy touched on that, you know, get Dezers up there. So I think Russell Martin should be looking to make 1 or 2 more changes, because we've spoke about the heat and it will be tiring. So I think it'd be a wise decision to make 1 or 2 changes.
Barron, Rice, Cameron,
just legs in there. Sorry, just legs in there at the minute. You know, as we go to the latter stages of the game, you know, it just looks to me, he looks as if he's struggling a little bit.
Do Panathinaikos have the belief and the confidence left that they can get the 2 goals they need here to force extra time? Swiderski, low cross, pulls it back to the edge of the box, and Raskan got there first, and he's a bit disappointed that he's ended up putting it behind for a corner, but at least he was there and making the interception. Panathinaikos corner. They've had 9 of them to Rangers 4. Haven't made any of them pay, as Tete prepares to take their 10th of the evening. 10 minutes left. Petty delivers, curls it to the edge of the 6-yard box. Swiderski's header blocked, comes back to the Polish striker. He has a lash at it, blocked again. It's outside the box, comes back to Swiderski though, and it's to Tete, puts it in with the right boot, headed up and into the arms of Jack Butland, who just says, let's calm it down. 1-1, 3-1 in aggregate to Rangers.
Yeah, again, it was another decent ball in the box. He gets good contact with the Panathinaikos striker. I think there's a number of bodies in the way. It doesn't make its way through Jack Butland.
Rangers take it out of defence through Suter, and he's careless there. Had a man right on his shoulder, and then Rangers have turned over possession. Danilo, but needless from Suter. Rangers just inviting unnecessary pressure here. Pelistri tries to go beyond Jefte, who sticks a foot out and makes a good challenge. Throw in.
Again, the ball was wide there. He's playing to a wide area. It's a simple ball, but he's looking for the more difficult one, and also he's inviting contact. You know, so he's not got a great history injury-wise, so I don't know why he just doesn't take the easy option, play the simple pass.
Bayrami and Dessers coming on for Danilo, and let's see who the second Rangers player is.
I think it might be Rodwell. He looks a little bit distressed. Yeah, I think it is Rodwell.
Yeah, well, Dessers is on for Danilo. 29 goals last season for Cyril Dessers. Got 45 minutes at the weekend against Middlesbrough in a friendly, and it is Rodwell. You're bang on, Derek. Nadim Bayrami is on. I wouldn't say that's like for like, but
no, again, what Bayrami brings, I think he's comfortable on the ball. He's willing to take the ball in tight positions, and hopefully he can keep possession for Rangers when they get it. And they've obviously, with Dessers going up top, it allows that physical presence, the longer ball. We know he's a willing runner. He'll go and chase things in the corner as well.
I was thinking, Cammy, more of a Connor Barron, you know, in there to dog the last. And that's not been having a go at the young man, but he's got that energy. He gets about people. I think that he could do with that the last 10 minutes of the game.
Diamonde finds Dessers, who hurdles a challenge from Tuba, but the Algerian has it and puts a kind of tired boot at it. Comes off. The Rangers player goes out for a throw in. Dessers, will he be a Rangers player come the transfer window closing? Who knows? Right now he's in to do his bit, but it's Pelistri down the right hand side of Rangers box, flashes the cross into the box. Suter's header, and it comes down right on top of Jack Butland. Did well to keep his eye on that, and then he does what all goalkeepers love to do in these situations, just flops the deck and eats up a few precious seconds.
Yeah, listen, it's never an easy ball to deal with. It looks like an easy one from the distance when it's high in the sky, right underneath your crossbar, and he has to take it, but he takes it ever so well. He's been brilliant tonight. Hopefully he can continue that in the next 10 minutes.
Diamonde, middle of the pitch in his own half. Off to Suter. Jefte forward, good pass into Dessers, but can't keep hold of it. And Chirivella The big switch out to Ioannidis, who couldn't control initially, goes after it, only he'll keep it in. Tavernier's across to face him. Ioannidis back to Kyriakopoulos. Last chance saloon really for Panathinaikos. They need 2 goals to force extra time here, and as the game goes on they just look less and less likely.
Yeah, their body language isn't great. I'm just looking at Tavernier as well. I think he's struggling a little touch as well. Just the ball was just played over the top of him, and you know, it just went over. He's a bit half pace, but it just, again, you know, about the heat, the intensity, everything about the game, it just looks as if he's tired.
Well, Ioannidis is off. Looks like he's limping slightly, and the Swedish striker Alexander Jeremejeff is on for the final 6 minutes plus stoppage time for Panathinaikos. So they've now chucked on pretty much every attacking option they've got, the Greeks, and they need 2 goals in 6 minutes plus stoppage time to force extra time, or they're heading out of the Champions League into the Europa League round, and Rangers will march on. Chirivea, nice touch, and Birrell's forwards. It's a good tackle though in midfield for Rangers. Spaniard has it. Panathinaikos in their own half, and they do look a side that is rather dumbfounded at how they are 2 goals down still in this tie. The throw-in is one. Jefte off Tete. Rangers eking towards a really massive victory at this early stage of the season for Russell Martin and his team, which is still coming together.
Yeah, but Butland has a bye kick there. They don't play out from the back. They're just launched forward now. They can see it. You know, they've only got 6 minutes plus added on time. So,
but it's good to see that, Derek.
Yes,
game management again. The players are understanding. Look, we're nearly over the line. They're slowing this game right up. Panathinaikos, as they look deflated. That's what they look at this moment in time. Again, they'll be looking back over the 2 legs and saying, why didn't we get a result? And it's purely because they're finishing. They've not put the ball in the back of net. Rangers have had limited opportunities and managed to put the ball in the back of net 3 times.
Here's a man who's done it twice. Gisama across to Raskan. He's dispossessed. Panathinaikos can break, but there's just no conviction in their play anymore. The belief has left them, and Rangers win it back by Rami. Nudges it to Aarons. And Rangers altogether more assured, knocking it about at the back. They sense a big victory is close. They sense that Panathinaikos have thrown every punch that it's possible to throw and come up short. Here's Jefte, low cross. Dessers was waiting in between the sticks, but a good interception by Maksimovic behind for a Rangers corner. 4 left. Still, Rangers have a 2-goal lead on aggregate.
It's good possession of the ball from Rangers down the left-hand side, and Jefte makes a little dart and run down that left wing area. Good ball in, but I think the Panathinaikos defender does well, gets across, but they're doing exactly what they need to do at the moment. You know, they've took the sting out of the game. Their body language isn't great. They've got a corner kick, just take your time. Even play a short corner kick. I'd be quite surprised if it's going to go in. Looks as if it's going into the middle of the box. If it was me, it'd be a short corner. I'd be beckoning somebody over.
Maybe no one can be bothered coming over. Tired legs as Tavernier sends it.
It's that same corner.
It's gone far too deep. It takes 1 bounce and goes out for a goal kick.
You'd be better off playing it short there, Derek.
Goalkeeper Dragowski, who really has only had one thing to do, and it's pick the ball out the back of his net, as Gisama blasted it beyond them. Raskan has given that away, and now the counter is on for Panathinaikos. Swiderski's made the run. He picks it up just inside the box. He's tried to flick it inside Suter. Hasn't worked, and Rangers clear out on the far side. I think it's taken a nick off a Panathinaikos player as well, so it'll be a Rangers throw-in.
Again, it's just not being slack on the ball. They don't want to give Panathinaikos any opportunities. Just be sensible, play the game as it is. Again, Dessers does really well there. He's drew in a foul. It'll allow Rangers to walk up, take their time, kill this game off.
Yeah, brilliant from Dessers. Got in front of his man, invites him to pull him back, gets a free kick. Rangers have it in their own half, and they are in no rush to take this, understandably. 2 minutes of the 90 remaining. Panathinaikos 1, Rangers 1, 3-1 to Rangers on aggregate. and the job is so close to being done. Raskan, though, giving up. He was given the ball under pressure. They've won it back, Rangers. How many times have we seen that this evening? Panathinaikos have not made them pay. That'll be something Russell Martin will look to be tidying up. How many times they've given away the ball in midfield, and Pellistri has deceived one there. Now it's in, pulled back and scooped miles over the top, and that pretty much sums up Panathinaikos' effort in front of goal, not just in this game but in this tie.
Yeah, listen, it totally sums up Panathinaikos over the two legs. Again, it's what you're saying, 15 yards out, he's no got any pressure on him, he's running onto the ball, can see the goal and blasts it well over the bar. But again, it was that one again, into Raskin, straight ball, and they get the counter-attack again. It's something Russell Martin certainly will need to look at, because a better side will punish you.
Absolutely. He's got to look back at the games over the two legs and see how many chances they've gave up, you know, playing that same pass. It's all about getting off at the angle, so they need to learn from it. But they've no conviction, Panathinaikos. You know, that it should be at least hitting the target. That's at least, even working the keeper. But in front of goal, they've fluffed their lines so many times tonight.
Yeah, I think they've had 6 or 7 on target. Butland with 2 or 3 really good saves. The rest should have done better, and that's not to mention the ones off target. Pellistri still going down the right, and that's a dangerous ball which Butland leapt to try and gather, but it went over him to the other side. Cross comes in from the left. Now Suter's there to head it to the edge of the box. Teti with the first time strike, it hits Swiderski, and it's almost comical now for the Greek side. It just will not go in for them, and Rangers are so close now. 5 added minutes, and that is into their box. That's straight at Butland, and they are so close now, Rangers. They have left, I can only imagine the nerves of some of the fans out there at points, Rangers, but ultimately they're going to get the job done. They've had 1 shot on target in this game, and it was Gassama firing it first time into the back of the net. Well, free kick given to Panathinaikos. Played 40 seconds of added time out of the 5. Tete is lining up to take it. They need something now, Panathinaikos, to set up a frantic final few minutes. Just about maintaining concentration amid tiredness for Rangers. Tete curls it in, headed away. Panathinaikos have to go all the way back to the halfway line. Chirivea, short pass. Let's get it launch time now for Panathinaikos. A big switch out to Tete. He's controlled that brilliantly with outside the left boot, kept it in. Cross deflected and away, and Rangers will pick up through Raskan, and he's over halfway and he threads it in behind for Dessers. Flag is down for now. Cyril Dessers saved by Drovkovski. He was one-on-one, Dessers, and he can't bend it around the goalkeeper. The flag didn't go up, and now it's Pellistri down the other side. Good pace to get away from Jefty initially, but the Brazilians recovered well to get a shoulder in the challenge, and the cross is poor and goes to Butland.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to give him the eyes. He's opened his body out, you know, as if he's going to curl it to that far left-hand corner, and then sometimes, you know, strikers, they just whip it, they just reverse it, you know, to the near-hand post. So I thought that's what he was going to go for.
I think he needed to do that, Derek, because he telegraphed it. The goalkeeper could see exactly where he was going. He made it pretty simple for. It was a decent save from the goalkeeper, but again, when you're one-on-one, you're expecting a top striker to go and finish that and finish the game off.
Played 2.5 of the 5 added minutes. Panathinaikos look a beaten team. In truth, they felt a beaten team since Shady Gassama's equaliser just a few minutes after Juricic's opener on the night for Panathinaikos. They sensed at that point it wasn't going to be their night. The stadium fell flat. The legs of those in green and white felt heavy and cumbersome, and Rangers have managed to see things out nearly in relative comfort as Dessers battles up there, but Yedvai will win the throw-in. No, he hasn't. Dessers has won the throw-in, and that will just eat up a few more seconds. 2 minutes left for Rangers to see out.
I tell you what, absolutely massive for Russell Martin. There's a lot of kind of dismay amongst the fans. We've spoken about it often enough, a little bit underwhelming. But he's navigated these 2 games ever so well, and to go, over to Athens and not get beat, I think that's so important. Yeah, he's rode his luck, but I think he'll be really happy with his players, the character, the mentality they've shown, and the fitness.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the heat. You'd have thought that Panathinaikos, if I can see it, you thought he'd run over the top of him, but it hasn't been like that whatsoever. So it's been a good night's work.
1 minute remaining, and Rangers can sink to the turf in relief and celebration, albeit it's only one hurdle clear on this arduous journey they've got to the group stages of the Champions League. But the fact they'll go through a year means they will at least enter their beloved Europa League should they stumble on their journey for the big time. And that is no small consolation as Butland rolls it out to Aarons into midfield by Rami. And Rangers force back, but they'll happily just knock it back to the goalkeeper. 30 seconds left. Jack Butland up there with Gassama as the heroes of this tie. Gassama for his impact as a sub with 2 goals. Butland for his 4 or 5 brilliant stops over the 2 leg to keep Panathinaikos to just 1 goal over the 2 games. Ball towards Dessers. Jedvaj clears, and that might just be that in Athens. The referee looks at his watch, and that is that. Rangers' quest for the Champions League continues. It is a massive result for Russell Martin in his first arduous task as Rangers head coach. His team have come through it. Jedi Gassama, one of the protagonists of this tie. Massive second goal at Ibrox. He came off the bench and grabbed an equaliser with virtually his first touch to halt the rising tides that was Panathinaikos, wave after wave of attack. He thumped it in first time to equalise after Djuricic's header had put the Greeks ahead on the night and halved the deficit on aggregate. But it was a huge goal from the substitute, a swipe of the right boot, and it completely knocked the stuffing out of the Greeks. They will head for the changing rooms wondering how on earth they have just scored the 1 goal over the 2 legs. They've had so many chances. Partly it was down to the magnificence of Jack Butland's 4 or 5 huge saves, including 2 or 3 on the night. But there was also some woeful, wasteful finishing in there. Rangers do not care about that right now. They've been clinical, and they've had their goalkeeper to thank for some big moments, but they march on in Champions League qualification. It finished in Athens. Panathinaikos won, Rangers won, 3-1 to Rangers on aggregate.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.